You know, you are what you eat. The gut has been referred to as our second brain. So, oh my gosh, I must have a big brain. Anyway, for this Friday's episode of Trends, I'm with Khun Ananya, Khun Aim, specialist in nutrition. We're at the Siam, a wonderfully stylish hotel at Bangkok's riverside. And you are watching Trends. Aim, can you tell us about the Wellness Club Thailand and also your great work that you're doing as a nutrition consultant?
Sure. So Wellness Club Thailand, we are a community with a mission to help people create better health and vitality through a very root cause-centric approach that focuses on personalized diet and lifestyle transformation. So we place great emphasis on the root causes and take a very proactive approach and a holistic approach. Yeah.
There's an old saying, we are what we eat. Is it true? And should we be eating better?
That's a great question, and actually it's partially true. You are what you eat is 50% of the picture. The other 50% that a lot of people miss is you are what you absorb as well. So a lot of people pay great attention on their diet, having great proteins, great fats, great leafy grains, but if they're not digesting well, they can't utilize those food. They can't convert the food to nutrients to nourish every cell of every organ of their body.
When it comes to the Wellness Club Thailand, who founded the club?
So I'm the founder of Wellness Club Thailand.
Oh, wow. Do you meet on a regular basis? Is it a physical location? Is it a social club online? What is the club?
Yeah, so it's a social lifestyle club online, and basically we are a community of really health conscious individuals. We have people across age groups, across different health conditions, from very proactive mindsets to people with chronic conditions, autoimmune, hormonal imbalance, chronic diseases, and we come together, all of us really focus on diet and lifestyle transformation.
There's a lot of talk today about health span. Not lifespan, but extending the healthy part of our life. Does diet play a key role in extending our health span?
Big role. So as you already mentioned, lifespan is how long we live. And the great news is that medical advancement, is really good at extending lifespan, right? In Thailand, it's around 78. But health span or healthy life expectancy is how long you live with really good health is only 68 in Thailand. So you see around like 10 years of what we call morbidity period, where you may be bedridden, dependent on loved ones, can't travel, can't have great quality of life. And the surprising fact is that 74% of deaths in Thailand are from chronic conditions like cardiovascular diseases, cancers, hypertension, diabetes. A lot of these diseases are diseases of chronic inflammation, where diet and lifestyle plays a really big role.
But I have to jump in because the Asian diet is considered to be healthier than the Western diet. So how come that doesn't translate?
Yeah, very interesting, right? So if you look at, historically, there is a rise in epidemic of obesity, of chronic conditions, of autoimmune diseases, and that comes with the modernization of our food. So if we, kind of take a step back and look at, the food we eat today compared to the food our grandparents ate or great-grandparents ate, is drastically different, and there is an interesting correlation. Yeah.
You're a certified gluten practitioner. Is there a situation of increased gluten intolerance in Thailand?
So very interesting is that there has been a drastic increase in celiac disease and non-celiac gluten sensitivity around the world, and that actually correlates with a lot of things that is quite interesting to see. And I think the question is why is it that we're starting to see such a rise in we can say epidemic in gluten sensitivity. Gluten has been part of our diet for such a long time. For instance, like I'm a Thai Chinese, our Chinese cuisine, Thai cuisine has some kind of traditionally prepared gluten with fermented gluten. But why is it that lately we are seeing more and more gluten sensitivity that is driving chronic inflammation? And it's quite interesting to see that there is actually a correlation with the rise in the use of glyphosate, which is an ingredient in herbicide that is used in agriculture and wheat. So there's quite an interesting correlation there.
And that chemical could trigger then the intolerance to gluten?
It could be, yeah. And part of it is also the processing of the food as well.
And when we talk about gluten intolerance, what are the symptoms? I might have it. What are the symptoms that people get?
So it's really bio-individual. Some people can have really severe symptoms that can lead to diseases or chronic conditions. Some people, it might be very silent and they're not even aware of it. That's like the really scary part, is a lot of people are not aware until like 20, 30 years down the road, they have certain kind of chronic diseases. But classic symptoms could be something like really bad digestion, chronic digestive dysfunction, bloating, constipation, diarrhea, or fatigue, or skin rashes or nasal congestion. There could be many manifestations of symptoms, because if you've heard, 70 to 80% of our immune system lies in the gut. And what happened with gluten sensitivity is sometimes it really irritates and causes the inflammation in our gut. Yeah, and that can manifest in different symptoms of immune-related symptoms. Yeah.
Agreed. I've read that our gut is supposedly our second brain. So can what we eat impact our emotions and our feelings of health?
Oh, massively. So actually there are many ways in which our food, our diet, our gut can impact our mood. Firstly, a lot of people think that neurotransmitters are created in the brain, right? And one of which is really impactful to our mood is serotonin. But surprisingly, the majority of serotonin is produced in our gut. So if we have pretty bad diet, and we have an overgrowth of pathogens, the bad guys in our gut, it can actually influence the neurotransmitter serotonin, which can actually lead to or correlate with depression, mood disorders, anxiety, etc.
Gosh, it's a science basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
What journey were you on that led you to become a nutrition consultant? How did you end up at the Wellness Club Thailand?
Sure. So I was born and raised in Thailand, went to school, did my bachelor degree at Yale University and then did MBA at INSEAD. So I was working in management consulting firm and corporate. So I was living a very kind of fast-paced life. And my health really suffered for several years. I had irregular period, chronic constipation, severe hair loss, and just really bad mood, and that also impact a lot of my close relationships. So I kind of like come back and think to myself, what do I really want in this life? The life isn't that long, and I want to make the most out of it. I really want to enjoy it. And I've always been very interested in food and nutrition since I was young, and I partly was inspired by my mom. She raised me, paying a lot of attention to our food and diet. So I pursued further education in functional nutritional therapy and also worked with Chivasom International Health Resorts. I've utilized these tools and experience in transforming my health through diet and lifestyle transformation. I was really amazed at the impact that it had transformed myself. I have now regular period, regular bowel movement, no more chronic constipation, great hair, if you think, and just in general, just happier and better relationships. So I was really inspired to kind of, help others to achieve and transform their health as well, starting with my loved one and then expanding to the Wellness Club Thailand community and greater groups. Yeah.
Is there one solution and one therapy that fits all. So if people come to you and say, oh, I'm feeling terrible, I've got stomach pains and I'm lethargic, or some of the classic symptoms of being gluten intolerant, do you say, right, this is the solution for you, or do you have to take time and then find and tweak the right remedy for individuals?
That is a great question, and there is no one size fits all. And we see again and again that two people with the same health conditions or the same symptoms actually have very different root causes and contributing factors. And a lot of time it's not just one single root cause. A lot of time it's many different contributing factors accumulatively contributing to the manifestation of your symptoms. For instance, two people with Hashimoto's or autoimmune thyroid may come with the same kind of health condition, but actually the trigger points can be very different. While one person, it could be the gut infection, intestinal permeability, which is the main driver. The other person, may have heavy metal toxicity or more genetic predisposition. So there are so many factors that come into play. So we really take time in the beginning to deep dive into each person's health history, assessment, symptoms holistically to see the different areas of dysfunction and the root causes before developing a roadmap for them.
Would your clients maybe be in an awkward position or terrible position of recovering from cancer? Could be suffering from autoimmune deficiency or chronic depression, and you've found that diet can actually help them in terms of their health in convalescing from cancer, autoimmune issues, and mental well-being. Have you seen that with your patients, with your customers?
So first and foremost, our scope of practice as functional nutritional therapy practitioners, we don't diagnose and treat, but what we do is we work to identify and look for imbalances and dysfunctions in different functions of your body.
How do you find those?
So we take a very different assessment tools and symptoms and a very deep dive in terms of health history, family history, diet, lifestyle factors, holistically to identify the dysfunctions. And then, because everyone is so unique, when we were able to find the underlying dysfunctions and really focus on personalizing food, diet, which includes different food, different like meal timing, etc., and different aspects of lifestyle from exercise, movement, stress management, emotional wellness, to exposing to toxins and nature, to sleep. Holistically develop a road plan and work with them. But usually we need some time because we are tackling at the root causes and focusing on diet and lifestyle transformation. So usually we take 6 months, 12 months, but if they are very cooperative, they're very disciplined, it can be very powerful.
I saw news of the Wellness Club Thailand at a corporate event organised by the Thailand Convention Exhibition Bureau. Do you engage with corporates? Would corporates somehow hire you to provide consultation on nutrition? Would you be speaking at conferences? How do you engage with corporate?
So I work both as private consultations for individuals, both from proactive health standpoint and from, working them to support chronic conditions. But at the same time, I also engage with corporate clients as speakers or workshops or, more in terms of like taking care of their executives.
Yeah. It's very topical, and everyone wants to know more about how we can live happier, healthier through our diet choices. So finally, what trends do you see in diet in Thailand and globally? Is there any trend in nutrition that is coming up that we should be aware of?
Sure. So I think nowadays, if you take a step back and look at our lifestyle, you see that from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to bed, we are exposed with so many toxins. Whether it's in our food, in our water, in our air, and then more and more people are getting more health conditions that cannot be explained. So it's quite interesting when we see that people come in with different health conditions, and we really take care in terms of transforming their diet and lifestyle journey. We see massive improvement in their health, and that come back to what we are eating and taking it into your mouth. And you can see now that more and more people are realizing that it's very important to eat well. And I think more and more people will place emphasis on the quality of our food.
So does that mean less processed food, less fats and sugars, or what should we be avoiding?
So actually everyone is very different, but in general, we want to firstly eat well. So eat well, what I mean by that is really focusing on whole food, right? So anything that you see whole food, like chicken as a chicken, pork, coming from pig, cow as, piece of meat, and veggie as veggies, right? And this is what I mean by whole food. And the second one is also, more and more people are giving more attention to is seasonality. So we want to eat according to season, but that's where the nutrient is maximized. And thirdly, you want to eat local produce because you want to shorten and minimize the supply chain to minimize the impact of nutrient deterioration and the use of chemicals. Yeah. And fourth, you want to eat a variety of food to be exposed to different nutrient profile.
Fantastic. Khun Aim, thanks so much for coming in today and sharing your story and the information on nutrition with us today at Trends. It's enlightening. I need to take some action.
You'll be great.
And thank you for watching this latest and tasty episode of Trends, and see you next Friday.